My beloved child, something rare has just moved toward you, and it did not arrive with noise, fireworks, or celebration, because the most powerful good news never does. It arrives quietly, precisely when you are tired of waiting, tired of hoping, and almost convinced that nothing special is meant for you. That timing is not random. This moment is not accidental. While the world trained you to expect good news to look loud and obvious, real breakthroughs choose silence first. They test awareness before reward. What you are hearing right now is not motivation, it is confirmation. Confirmation that the delay you hated was not denial. Confirmation that the pressure you felt was preparation. Confirmation that something has shifted in your favor without asking for your permission. Stay with this feeling, because the urge to doubt it is exactly what this message is meant to dissolve. Here is what makes this news different from anything you have heard before, and this is where most people miss it. The gift that has arrived is not external at first. It does not come as money, praise, or opportunity. It comes as alignment. Alignment between who you are and what life is about to offer you next. This alignment is rare, because it only appears after endurance. After confusion. After silence. The shocking truth is that many people receive blessings daily but are too distracted to notice them. You are noticing. That alone changes everything. Right now, doors you did not knock on are beginning to loosen. Conversations you never planned are moving closer. Paths you thought were closed are quietly reopening, not because you forced them, but because you stayed standing long enough for timing to catch up with you. Let me say something that may surprise you, but once you hear it, you will feel it deep inside. Good news does not arrive when life is easy. It arrives when you are ready to handle it without losing yourself. That is why it waited. That is why it tested you with patience instead of rewards. If this gift had come earlier, it would have overwhelmed you or distracted you. Now it will strengthen you. The danger phase is over. The proving phase is complete. What comes next is expansion, but only if you recognize it when it starts small. Big outcomes always begin as subtle shifts. A new thought. A sudden clarity. A calm confidence that does not need validation. These are not random feelings. They are signals that something is aligning in your favor. Right now, something is being rearranged behind the scenes of your life. Not dramatically. Not visibly. But precisely. The people who doubted you will not be part of the next chapter. The delays that frustrated you will suddenly make sense. The silence that hurt you will reveal itself as protection. This is the once-in-a-lifetime realization most people never get. You were not stuck. You were being positioned. Positioned to receive without breaking. Positioned to grow without losing balance. Positioned to rise without becoming disconnected from yourself. This is why walking away now would be the biggest mistake, because the shift has already begun. Momentum is quiet before it becomes undeniable. As this part closes, let this truth land without resistance. The good news is not just that something good is coming. The good news is that you are finally ready to keep it. Ready to handle it. Ready to grow with it instead of being consumed by it. Very few people reach this stage, and even fewer recognize it in time. You did. That is not luck. That is alignment. Stay present. Stay aware. Because what arrives next will reward those who did not scroll away when the moment was subtle. There is a shift happening that does not ask for permission, and this is where the good news deepens in a way most people never expect. What is moving toward you now is not random opportunity, it is earned timing. Timing shaped by everything you endured quietly when no one was watching. Every moment you stayed consistent without applause. Every time you chose patience over reaction. Those moments were not wasted. They were recorded. Life keeps accounts differently than people do. It does not reward noise. It rewards readiness. And readiness is exactly what you have built without realizing it. This is why things may start aligning faster than you are used to. When momentum returns, it does not crawl. It accelerates. Here is the revelation that separates ordinary luck from lasting progress. The good news arriving now will not demand that you become someone else. It will require that you finally become yourself without apology. That is the test. Many people lose blessings because they try to impress instead of align. You will not need to chase. You will not need to perform. You will need to be honest. Honest with your time. Honest with your energy. Honest with your standards. What is meant for you recognizes you when you stop pretending. This is why the past phase stripped away what was false. False expectations. False connections. False urgency. That clearing was not loss. It was preparation. Pay attention to what begins to feel lighter in your life, because that is a signal. Resistance fades when alignment increases. Decisions that once felt heavy will start feeling obvious. Not easy, but clear. This clarity is part of the gift. It saves you from wasting effort on paths that only look attractive on the surface. The shocking truth is that clarity is more valuable than opportunity. Opportunity without clarity creates confusion. Clarity attracts the right opportunities naturally. This is why your focus will matter more than your speed in this next phase. You do not need to rush. You need to choose accurately. Something important is also leaving your life quietly, and this is part of the good news too. The need to prove yourself is dissolving. When that need fades, freedom increases. You stop explaining. You stop justifying. You stop negotiating with people who cannot see your value. This is not arrogance. This is maturity. You are stepping into a phase where your actions speak first and your presence speaks louder than words. The people meant to walk with you will feel it. The rest will drift away naturally. That is not rejection. That is alignment doing its work. Let this part end with a truth that deserves your full attention. The good news is not only about what you will gain. It is also about what you will no longer tolerate. That boundary is your upgrade. That clarity is your protection. You are not waiting anymore. You are arriving. And once arrival begins, life stops testing patience and starts testing responsibility. Stay aware. Because the next sign will not ask you to believe. It will ask you to act. My beloved child, this is the moment when good news stops being a feeling and starts becoming a responsibility, and that transition is where lives quietly change direction. Until now, hope carried you. From here onward, choice will define you. What has arrived is not meant to sit gently in your hands. It is meant to reshape how you decide, how you commit, and how you move when no one is guiding you. Many people love receiving good news, but very few are prepared for what follows it. Because good news does not simply comfort. It demands elevation. It asks you to rise to the level of what you have been given. This is why your awareness right now matters more than your excitement. Something subtle is happening inside you, and you may not have named it yet. Your tolerance for distraction is decreasing. Your patience for empty routines is thinning. This is not restlessness. This is calibration. Your inner compass is adjusting to a higher standard, and that process feels unfamiliar before it feels empowering. The shocking truth is that growth often feels like loss at first. You outgrow patterns that once felt safe. You outgrow conversations that once felt exciting. This is not because something is wrong. It is because you are no longer meant to stay where you were. The good news did not arrive to decorate your old life. It arrived to replace it. Now listen carefully, because this realization separates those who transform from those who hesitate. What is opening for you will require consistency, not intensity. Not bursts of effort, not dramatic declarations, but steady alignment over time. This is where most people stumble. They expect miracles to feel loud. Real miracles feel stable. They show up as discipline becoming easier. As clarity replacing anxiety. As self-trust quietly rebuilding. The danger at this stage is impatience. Wanting visible results before internal alignment is complete. But alignment always comes first. Results follow naturally when the foundation is stable. There will be moments ahead when the old version of you tries to return. Not because it was bad, but because it was familiar. Familiarity feels comforting under pressure. Do not confuse familiarity with truth. Truth is what expands you. Familiarity is what keeps you contained. The good news is that you will recognize the difference now. You will feel it in your body before you explain it with words. Choices will feel lighter or heavier instantly. Trust that signal. It is the product of everything you have learned, endured, and integrated so far. Ignoring it would be the only real mistake left. As this part closes, understand this deeply and without doubt. You are not being rushed. You are being invited. Invited into a phase where your life reflects your values instead of your fears. Where progress feels earned instead of forced. Where peace comes from alignment, not avoidance. The good news has arrived, and it brought clarity with it. From here on, every step you take will either honor that clarity or move away from it. You already know which direction feels right. Stay with that feeling. It will not lead you wrong. My beloved child, something has quietly crossed a line in your life, and once a line like this is crossed, nothing truly goes back to how it was before. This is the stage where good news begins to feel heavier than excitement, because it now asks you to protect it. Protection does not mean fear. It means awareness. When something valuable enters your life, distractions suddenly become expensive. Time becomes sharper. Choices become louder. You may notice that certain habits no longer fit, certain conversations feel empty, and certain delays feel unacceptable. This is not pressure from outside. This is growth creating new internal rules. The good news did not arrive to blend into your old life. It arrived to demand a better structure around it. Here is a truth that surprises almost everyone at this stage. Progress will not announce itself with constant happiness. It will show up as stability, as fewer emotional swings, as calm confidence replacing loud ambition. This calm is powerful, but dangerous if misunderstood. Many people panic here, thinking they have lost excitement, when in reality they have gained direction. Direction feels quieter than chaos. Chaos feels alive, but it drains you. Direction feels simple, but it builds you. The shocking realization is that peace is not boring. Peace is efficient. It allows you to move forward without leaking energy in unnecessary places. Pay attention now, because this part is critical. You will soon be tested, not by hardship, but by comfort. Opportunities will come that look good but do not align. Praise may appear that tempts you to slow down. Ease may invite you to settle. These are not rewards. These are filters. Life is checking whether you value alignment more than approval. The good news is powerful, but only if you respect it. Respect looks like saying no without guilt. Respect looks like choosing depth over speed. Respect looks like staying consistent when excitement fades. This is where real maturity quietly forms. Something else is happening that you may not have expected. Your inner voice is getting clearer. Not louder. Clearer. Confusion fades when intention strengthens. You may not have all the answers, but you will feel less torn. Less scattered. Less desperate for certainty. This is because clarity does not come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting your direction. The danger at this stage is overthinking. Trying to explain everything instead of simply moving forward. You do not need to justify progress. You need to continue it. Let this part end with a grounded truth you can carry forward. The good news has now fully entered your responsibility. How you protect your time, your focus, and your standards will determine how far this blessing grows. You are not meant to rush. You are meant to remain aligned. Alignment is quiet, but it compounds faster than effort without direction. Stay steady. What you are building now does not need to impress the world. It only needs to remain true. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now, and this is how you know the good news has truly settled. You are no longer waiting for signs every minute. You are no longer chasing reassurance. Something inside you has shifted from asking to knowing. Knowing does not shout. It steadies you. This is the stage where external noise loses its authority over your decisions. You start moving with less explanation and more intention. That is not withdrawal. That is alignment maturing. The good news was never meant to keep you emotionally high. It was meant to make you internally stable. Here is the truth that completes the picture, and very few people ever reach this understanding. When good news is real, it does not just add something to your life. It removes what no longer belongs. You may notice fewer distractions calling your name. Fewer urgencies pulling you sideways. This is not because life became smaller. It is because your focus became sharper. Focus is the hidden reward. Focus turns effort into progress. Progress turns patience into results. The shocking part is that once focus is established, success stops feeling dramatic and starts feeling inevitable. Now you will begin to see proof, not all at once, but consistently. Small confirmations. Timely outcomes. Situations resolving with less resistance than before. Do not rush to celebrate too early. This phase rewards humility. Quiet gratitude keeps momentum clean. Loud expectations invite pressure. Let things unfold at the pace they are choosing. Trust that what is aligning now is not fragile. It is built on everything you endured before this moment. That foundation cannot be shaken easily. There will still be moments of doubt, and that does not mean the good news was false. Doubt is simply the mind checking unfamiliar ground. Let it pass without argument. You do not need to defend what you are becoming. Your consistency will do that for you. Stay simple. Stay honest. Stay aligned. The danger now would be overreacting, overplanning, or overexplaining. Calm execution. That is your advantage. Let this be the closing truth of this part. The good news did not arrive to change your world overnight. It arrived to change how you walk through it forever. You are no longer waiting for life to choose you. Life already has. What happens next will grow naturally from how well you protect this clarity. Stay present. Stay grounded. This chapter is no longer about arrival. It is about continuation. Something irreversible has now taken place, and you may not fully realize it yet, but your inner posture toward life has changed. You are no longer leaning forward with desperation or backward with fear. You are standing upright. That stance matters. From here, you will notice that decisions no longer drain you the way they used to. You pause less. You hesitate less. Not because outcomes are guaranteed, but because self-doubt is losing its authority. This is one of the clearest signs that the good news was real. It did not excite you temporarily. It rewired you quietly. Here is a truth that marks this stage clearly. You will stop trying to convince people of your direction. When clarity becomes internal, validation becomes optional. This does not make you distant. It makes you precise. Your words become fewer, but stronger. Your actions become simpler, but more effective. The shocking realization is that when you stop explaining yourself, life starts responding faster. Energy wasted on justification is now redirected into execution. This is why momentum feels smoother now. Less friction. Less noise. More forward motion. Pay attention to what no longer triggers you, because that is where growth has settled. Old fears may still knock, but they will not stay. Old comparisons may appear, but they will not stick. This emotional neutrality is not emptiness. It is strength. Strength that does not need to react to everything. Strength that chooses where to engage. The danger before was emotional overexposure. Now you are selective. Selective with time. Selective with energy. Selective with access. This selectiveness is not selfish. It is strategic. What comes next will look ordinary to others, and that is exactly why it will work. Consistent effort. Clear priorities. Calm persistence. No rush to impress. No urge to announce. This phase is protected by its simplicity. Big transformations often fail because they attract attention too early. Yours will not. It will grow steadily, quietly, and firmly. The good news continues to unfold through repetition, not revelation. Through discipline, not drama. Let this part close with a grounding truth you can trust. You are no longer hoping things will change. You are behaving like they already have. That shift is rare. That shift is powerful. From this point onward, life will meet you at the level of your standards, not your wishes. And because your standards have risen silently, what comes next will feel earned, stable, and deeply yours. My beloved child, this is the stage where silence becomes your strongest proof, because nothing needs to be announced anymore. You may notice that you are less interested in predicting outcomes and more focused on honoring the process. That shift is not accidental. It means trust has replaced urgency. When urgency disappears, clarity takes its place. You are no longer asking whether things will work out. You are asking how well you can stay aligned while they do. That difference changes everything. This is where the good news matures into something unshakable, something that does not depend on mood, validation, or external timing. Here is the realization that settles deeply now. You are not chasing results. You are building inevitability. Inevitability is created when effort, patience, and direction move together without resistance. This is why progress feels quieter but stronger. There is no emotional spike. No dramatic rush. Just steady movement that compounds daily. The shocking truth is that most people never experience this phase because they abandon consistency in search of excitement. You did not. You stayed. And staying is what turns effort into identity. Identity then pulls outcomes toward you naturally. Notice how your relationship with time has changed. You no longer feel late. You no longer feel rushed. You respect time instead of fearing it. That respect allows you to act without panic and wait without anxiety. This balance is rare. It is the result of internal order. When your inner world becomes organized, the outer world responds with fewer obstacles. Not because life becomes easy, but because you stop creating unnecessary friction. The danger before was emotional urgency. Now there is composure. Composure multiplies effectiveness. Something else has shifted quietly, and this is important. You are no longer motivated by escape. You are motivated by construction. You are not trying to get away from a past version of yourself. You are intentionally building a future one. That orientation is powerful. It keeps you grounded even when progress feels slow. It keeps you disciplined even when no one notices. This is where most long-term success is born, far away from attention, praise, or comparison. Let this part settle with one final truth. The good news did not arrive to give you a shortcut. It arrived to give you certainty. Certainty that your direction is right. Certainty that your patience was not wasted. Certainty that your future is no longer accidental. From here onward, you do not need signs. Your consistency is the sign. And as long as you protect that, what unfolds next will continue to reward the one thing you finally mastered: staying alive.